Hello, everybody. We're going to have another fantastic week of earnings to go over here. Talking about the most anticipated earnings to look at for the week of March 1st. We're already into March. Seems crazy. This year's already freaking going by. As per usual, let me know if there's anything special you want me to look at in the comments. Let me know if there's any of these specific stocks you want me to take a look at. I'll go ahead and you can either email me or whatever it might be. Also, be on the lookout tomorrow. Going to be releasing the stocks to buy for March, so be on the lookout. We're going to have a great one. Let's get right into it, starting Monday here. We're going to start off before open with Workhorse, then move to Berkshire Hathaway, always an anticipated one, because this is the time in which they typically will speak about some of their position changes. This has usually a decent movement in the market caused by Berkshire Hathaway. Because you see what positions that the most successful investor of all time, Warren Buffett, gets in of and out of. Really, he's not doing much of the investing anymore. If we're being frank, it's mostly his team that's running this. But still, something you need to consider. There could be ripples in the market based off of what they're buying and selling. We have Tegna, Gentherm, Stratasys, Clearway Energy, Amicus Therapeutics, NRG, Densply, Sorona, and Novanta. After close, it's a pretty big one. Starting with NEO, one of my 4 focus stocks for the day, for the week, I should say. It's NEO, and obviously I think you know why. It's a position I've held for quite a while. Earned me quite a lot of money. One that I've made some mistakes on as well. That has cost me a little bit of money selling too early, but still hold a position in it, and it's important to me. So what they're expecting here is an EPS line of negative 7 cents, which compares to 39 cents negative a year prior. That's a significant improvement year over year. For the full year, only expecting negative 60 cents versus $1.60 EPS line the year prior as well. Pretty good numbers expected out of this company with an earnings estimate supposed to be, from a revenue standpoint, the first $1 billion quarter they've ever had. I'm curious on this, what it's going to look like. 148% increase year over year obviously is incredible, and I 100% believe this is something they're going to do. So these are incredible numbers, obviously, but I think they're easily going to beat this estimate just based off of what I've seen from what they've released. Obviously, the EC7 being added into the distribution chain here. I think they release results every single month, which is, I think, very nice, very transparent. Based off those results, this will end up being a beat here in terms of a revenue standpoint. The EPS line, it's always one you never know with these companies because they released a new vehicle. Typically, the way that most of these electric vehicle companies have done, when they release a new vehicle, the margin just isn't there, if we're being honest. The vehicle margin just isn't there. They're usually selling at a loss. So depending on that, we'll see what it looks like. I think that'll impact the EPS line for sure, but a lot of things to look at. After NEO, we have Zoom. Oh, let's just take you to another page already. We know it's another focus stock for a lot of reasons. The stock has taken off beyond belief over the last year because it's one that's benefited pretty much to one of the most degrees you've ever seen any company benefit from anything. I mean, good grief. 2020 just absolutely took this company off. I mean, it just skyrocketed the business to incredible degrees. Expected EPS line of 79 cents compared to 15 cents of the year prior. EPS line, I think it's hard to estimate on this because this is a company where it could be a huge miss or a huge beat. Just because of the incredible growth in business, it's worth mentioning that it's hard to predict this EPS line here. But from a revenue standpoint, anticipated $811 million. That compares to a year ago, $188 million. You kidding me? 330% growth? Not a shocker at all, because you've seen this percentage of growth pretty well for the full year, every single quarter previously. But again, the quarter they're comparing here is from the one prior to pandemic levels, prior to work from home, prior to no school, Zoom is the beneficiary of so many industries right now that these numbers should be incredible. Now, again, the stock's taken off beyond belief too, but you got to think about that. We have Mercado Libre after them. Lemonade, obviously a stock that interests a lot of people. Personally, not one I've looked into besides the earnings last year, or last quarter, I should say. So nothing too crazy. 3D Systems, Novavax, also an interesting one for people I know. Inovio and Inseego as well. A lot of people look at that one quite a bit too, as we see 5G taking over. What 5G can do, and Inseego, the investment they have in terms of 5G. People are interested in the stock. I don't know necessarily what to think about the stock. Not the best one out there, but interesting company to look at regardless. And Sarepta after them. Tuesday, we just keep having focus stocks here, okay? Target. I had to have a retailer in here because, well, again, it's an industry that's seen massive benefit. And we just saw from Walmart's earnings that I'm expecting good numbers out of Target here. Average EPS estimate of $2.54 compares to $1.69 the year prior. That's a massive growth in terms of an EPS line, and I do think they'll hit it. Walmart missed by a significant margin because it was due to unexpected expenses. Now, Target here, I don't see that being the case for them unless they decided to make those expenses happen in this quarter. I think it's going to be a pretty good EPS line. Really good. And from a revenue standpoint, $27.4 billion expected. It's a 17.2% increase. I think they'll beat on a revenue standpoint as well. I do think that the massive demand for online shopping, in which Target has seen incredible benefit out of most retailers, brick and mortar retailers. Target has been one of the best performers in the e-commerce sector, so it's one you need to consider as probably a very big beneficiary here, not only through their shipped investment, but as well as their store pickup investment through, obviously, you order in the app, someone picks the order for you, and they bring it right to your car. Target is really the leader in that business. Let's be frankly honest. They started the goods, okay? So expect, obviously e-commerce sales to increase probably by 150% in my opinion. I think it could be higher than that, but I do think 150% is it's a minimum for me for them. So that's where the majority of this growth is going to be at. So keep an eye out for them. Then we have Therapeutics MD, Kohl's, another retailer. Kohl's is really on its way back, so I'm really interested to see what we see in terms of a revenue line. I do think overall probably going to be a little bit under year over year. I do think there's going to be a little bit of revenue decline year over year. We'll see what that looks like. But again, the demand is getting back to these clothing retailers because people haven't been shopping there. So as we get to more of a state of normalcy, people are shopping there a lot more. And again, e-commerce is a big statement for them as well. They need to put good numbers there. Abercrombie and Fitch, back again. Clothing, Kohl's at least has a little bit of diversity within their stores. Abercrombie and Fitch being exclusively clothing, still decline year over year most likely. Copen, Lumber Liquidators, actually could be a decent numbers here, frankly, because if you look at what Home Depot was able to do in massive growth year over year, 20% growth for the full year, people are doing a lot of home improvement projects, and Lumber Liquidators probably see the benefit as a result. AutoZone and Emirates. After close, we have Fubo TV. This might interest some people, obviously, as streaming is big stuff, and as cable goes bye-bye, companies like Fubo do see a benefit. Fubo, I can't say the name for some reason all of a sudden, but Fubo, Viva after them. They are not the Velveeta cheese, these are Viva, completely different. B&G, Nordstrom, again, clothing, we're back there again. Ambarella. We saw some chip companies see some really big benefits this quarter. They've been putting up really good numbers. Ambarella probably does too. Big Five. Big Five's got nothing on a Reese's Take 5. Let me tell you, the best candy bar out there. Hewlett-Packard Enterprises. We saw HP Q, the other spin-off of HP here, do a lot last quarter. Really positive results here, so let's see what HPE can put up. Grocery Outlet, Urban Outfitters, and Box. Wednesday before open, we do see it's going to be an interesting one as we see Dollar Tree make a standpoint. It's curious because you see these dollar companies, these general stores really have done some great numbers. Actually, in the middle of this, as we've seen demand everywhere. The only issue is this is not a company that has that e-commerce benefit, so I don't know necessarily what it's going to look like for Dollar Tree, but it is one worth looking at. We'll certainly take a look and see what the demand looks like for them. Wendy's, overall fast food, still down in terms of transactions. Ticket prices up, but Wendy's, you'll see the same news there. BBSI. BB-8's my favorite personally. I don't like this not this good of a robot. Optinose, Endeavor, Silver, COR Energy, Core Energy maybe, Evogene, Iteran, and TransAlta. Pretty good stuff. After close, one that I think a lot of people are interested in, Snowflake, and I bring this back to Berkshire Hathaway as a result too, because this is one that's been purchased by Buffett's colleagues within the company. So Snowflake likely sees just a benefit because of that. The stock sees a benefit because of that, but it's a really interesting company for a lot of these people looking at it. I looked at them last quarter. The company's bringing in some good revenue numbers year over year. They're continuing to do that, so probably expect some good numbers out of this company. Marvell, Splunk, in a similar boat, similar company to what you see with Snowflake too, so just a little bit more developed and overall business-wise. So still going to be really good numbers for Splunk with all the time people are spending on e-commerce websites. Splunk going to do a decent number. Vroom, Okta, American Eagle Outfitters. This is the clothing week, baby. Avino Silver and Gold Mines Ltd. Okay. Trip.com. We're going to see some improvement, but still likely a decline of 30+% in terms of revenue for this company, because still we aren't planning a lot of trips, as a lot of airlines are requiring you to get vaccinated even to go on planes anymore. So Trip.com, not too much expected. We have Yext and SQM. Thursday before open, more retailers, baby. BJ's, wholesaler, okay? And Kroger as well after them. Expect some decent numbers just in general from Kroger and BJ's probably. Probably, obviously, their biggest Q4s ever, most likely. Purple, most known for the mattresses. They've got great pillows, stuff like that. High-quality sleeping products from Purple and seat cushions. They got it all. Comfy products. They got it all. I'm curious on what these numbers look like. Have they been doing good? This is a good quarter for them, obviously, because it's a gifting quarter. So we'll see what that looks like. Michaels, again, good gifting quarter with retail. We'll see what that looks like. Adapt Health. Sienna, chip company. Similar with Ambarella, probably good numbers out of them. Baozun, a lot of exciting stuff coming from that company. Schrodinger's, he's got a cat. Canadian Natural, Arbutus. After close, we have my last focus stock, baby of the week, is Costco. Expected an EPS decrease, 244 compares to, actually, never mind, I was joking with you. It's going up. 244 compares to $2.01 of the year. $2.10 of the year prior, so a little bit of growth there. And an overall sales growth of 12% expected, $43.75 billion. We'll take a look at that and see if that's what they're able to do. I think they will. Again, e-commerce is going to be a big portion for them. The fact that they're starting to do this wholesale, this pickup program as well, where, again, they place an order and do that, probably sees a benefit. Costco, I relate them to... if you, again, look at Walmart's earnings from last week. Was that last week? Shoot. No, it was 2 weeks ago, sorry. And Walmart, obviously, they separate their segments, obviously, with Sam's Club being a company they own. Sam's Club, in terms of revenue gain, exceeded, in terms of percentages, exceeded Walmart. They had a really, really good quarter. So it shows that wholesale companies really are doing it right now for people. People are excited for this as they bulk up. They're excited for the value that they get out of these companies. So I think Costco sees a benefit as well. Fulgent, Smile, they've been doing a lot of advertising, so I would expect to see a lot more in terms of advertising expenses, most likely. So expect operating expenses probably went up this quarter, but with people not able to see the dentist necessarily super easy, this might be a company that benefits. Smith & Wesson, Broadcom, we talk about chips, look at them. Turtle Beach, the official headset of the gamers, baby. I don't know necessarily, but gaming obviously on the rise by a significant margin. Turtle Beach, just as a result, probably sees a benefit as well because it's the brand name people know. They might be purchasing it for their gaming accessories. OpenTable.com, Gap Inc. That's right, more clothing. Slack, still similar opinion on Slack as I've always had. The company loses quite a bit of money, but overall gains a lot of revenue, so we'll look at them. Immersion, Friday before open we have Big Lots, Hibbett Sports, more retailers, you know how it is. GSX, Takuru Inc., Ruth's Hospitality Group. I don't know who Ruth is, but hopefully she's pretty nice. I know Baby Ruth. Is that who? Is that this? Did she make those candy bars? Because they're pretty good, even though a lot of people say they're for old people. And it's a discount Snickers, but they're pretty good. Okay. Intest Corporation and Global. Then we have Neolytics as well. That's what I got for you this week. Hope you enjoyed. Love it. Have a good day.